If you have to change the oil pan for a MG5 2023-2024, you have to remove the engine with the gearbox together out of the car to do that. I'll show you guys what I mean. So this car is a MG5 2024 MG5 sedan, non-turbo. So this is the underneath the engine. This is the gearbox. That is the engine. So the oil pan of this car has been damaged. It's got a hole, which is right there. And I've removed the bolts for the oil pan on each side. But there's 3 bolts that's holding the oil pan, and that's situated between the gearbox and the engine, which is right there where the gap is inside. There's 3 bolts that needs to be undone. So this is the 3 bolts that's holding the oil pan. It's circled with a blue marker, and that's the side view. So now we have to remove the gearbox and the engine together. By doing so, I have to remove the axle, both of the axle, the driver side and the passenger side. So I'm doing the driver side now. So removing the center bolt first. So after removing the center bolt, we have to remove these 3 bolts that's connected to this big piece of metal. I guess it's for the chassis of the car. And the CV joint bolt has to be removed. So still removing these 3 bolts. So now we have to get the axle out. You need a bar for taking the axle out from the gearbox. So now removing all the hoses from the engine. and disconnecting all the wires, the wiring everywhere, and making sure to mark the wire, each wire on with a texter for memory, for memorizing, just like so. On the body of the car, the engine, and also on the socket itself. So after removing everything, we're putting the engine on the hoist and jacketing it up. Making sure removing everything that's on the way, all the wire, the pipes, everything, so it doesn't get damaged. Okay, so I have already replaced the oil pan in the engine. I've put a new oil pan already, so it's much easier if you put the oil pan before removing the engine and the gearbox, and then putting those 3 bolts in. Okay, so now the engine and the gearbox is out of the car. So I've actually didn't film the removing the engine and the gearbox. I've actually put all those 3 bolts already in its place, which is there and there and there. And now we have to put the torque converter onto the flywheel. So putting the 3 bolts, it's quite easy. You just have to remove that flywheel. It's got 6 bolts, and then put the 3 bolts in and put back the flywheel, and that's how it looks like. So by placing the bolts onto the from the flywheel to the torque converter, you can only do it. It's a 10 mils bolts. You can't do it from here, or from here, from the back, or from here. You can only do it from here, where the starter motor sits. So each bolt has to be placed from here onto the torque converter. So starting from the first bolt, you need to put the torque converter on to the flywheel in position where the nuts or the bolt fits from the flywheel to the torque converter. So by using a 10 mil socket or a wrench, tightening up the bolt. So and then you need to turn the torque converter and the flywheel together clockwise or anti-clockwise, whichever is possible. You just turn it and find the second spot for the bolts from the back, and you put the second bolt in. So guys, by positioning the torque converter onto the gearbox, it's a nightmare. It's a very difficult job. So you need to position the 2 points where the torque converter, you can see the points there. That needs to be positioned correctly onto the gearbox. So still putting the bolts, the third bolt in by turning the torque converter and flywheel, turning it anti-clockwise or clockwise, whichever you can. So thank you guys for now. This is the video ends, to be continued.